Well, it rained, it has rained quite a bit in the last few days, so grass is growing good. Maybe that'll pick up the lawnmower repair business a bit. And the rained all night last night, pretty heavily actually. And, it scared Red, but Red doesn't like thunder, so she crawls up on the bed and licks your hand the entire time. So you pet her, which is fine. I have no problems with that. I have to knock that down. The wind knocked it over, it looks like. So walk down here, filling up my air tank, my off-grid air tank. I use a little car compressor. You know, you plug into your cigarette lighter to air this air tank, and it works pretty much like a compressor, except it's off-grid. So I just hook up battery cables from my solar panel batteries to the cigarette lighter. That way I can still use it in the car without tearing it apart. This is I think 120 pounds, but I only fill it up to 100. And the only downside to this, if you want to call it a downside, is you have to do it in stages. I only do about 20 to 25 pounds of pressure. That way it doesn't get too hot. But all I got to do is just run up the pressure. And it'll shut off on its own. So I've been a little bit busy. I'm still waiting on a part for that PTO, the one that blew up. I told you in a previous video for the Gravely. He hit something pretty hard. I've been doing a lot of research on that PTO. Just making sure that I didn't install it wrong. See, that's what bothers me. Is I put a new PTO on it. He runs it for an hour and blows out that PTO. So I just want to be 100% positive I didn't do anything wrong. So I think I told you yesterday, new PTO came in and I checked everything. I checked the diameter of the hole. I went online to make sure it was the right size. It was supposed to be 1 inch. So I used my caliper. I checked the hole size. Then I came out and checked the shaft size just to make sure it was the correct size. I mean, you never know. Somebody may have came along and modified it and I didn't know it. But the number one reason why that anti-rotation bracket that holds the PTO in place is damaged, which damages the PTO, is because of impact. They've hit something. There is no other reason. As a matter of fact, it is so prevalent that manufacturers won't refund your money on it. So fortunately we went through Amazon to get a refund on that. So still waiting on the anti-rotation. It was supposed to be here 2 days ago. It's stuck in Columbia, Missouri post office. Can't stand Missouri's post office system. I'm sure nobody can. And this one, I got everything but the pulley. We're waiting on a pulley, the center one. We got the PTO, or the spindle. I've got I got it serviced. Put new blades on it, but I'm still waiting for that one spindle, the middle spindle, to put that blade on. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So that's a spindle, and it's nice and tight. But this one has lost its pulley, and it's bad. So that's supposed to be here Friday or Saturday. So that one's I mean, it's ready to go. Check the tire pressure just to make sure. I put soap on it to make sure I didn't see any leaks. Yeah, they look good. And then I told you about this pressure washer. It had a stuck unloader valve, so when he released the trigger, the engine would die because there was so much pressure on. So I had to clean the unloader valve here, take it out here, and clean it. I should have made a video on that, but I didn't. But it happens so often. I'll get another one sometime. So that one's done. This is that customer's mower as well. So he brought both of these things. This needed a service. It had a mouse nest in it. A big one too. I messaged him, he messaged back, got it washed up. So it's all nice and clean. You may have seen me in a previous video, I was getting all that grass off the deck. But washed it up, looks new now. So anyway, I messaged him. He messaged back, but he didn't say when he'll be by to pick it up. So, you know, I have been complaining that business has been slow, and I've told you, I think we finally nailed down why we think it's slow. It's because we're not getting weed eaters and push mowers. I mean, I've got one push mower here, and I may have worked on what, maybe 2 or 3 push mowers, not many. I can't even remember any but one. So there may only have been 2 total, this one and that one. I can't remember any others. Not saying I didn't. Now, as far as weed eaters, I've only gotten one. And it was so old that I didn't realize it when he dropped it off, that it actually went outside my range. I say nothing older than 2020, or excuse me, 2000, the year 2000. And that one was 97. But I didn't realize it when I got it, so I went ahead and ordered it. But just like the reason why, okay, so the reason why I wait so, or I don't work on anything older than the year 2000, because you got to wait and wait and wait for parts. And same thing happened to that one. It literally had to go on a boat from China. So it took nearly a month to get the part. The thing is when he got here, he wanted me to work on one of those walk behind trimmers also, but it was old. And I said, no, I don't work on anything older than the year 2000. Well, and I said, because I can't find parts, it's slow to get parts. Well, remember, he was annoyed because the weed eater was taking so long. So 2 different things going on. So when he comes back, he says, I was able to find that part for that machine. I fixed it in a couple hours. I said, okay, that's great. But you complained that it took a month to get the part for the weed eater, which is why I don't order parts for older mowers. And he shut up instantly. Yeah, you're right. I got a Cadillac. It's a 1970-something. Can't find parts for that. Not even in junkyards. So he instantly realized that he messed up. He's going to come back and nail me on this. Can't work on anything older than the year 2000. All the while he was complaining about his 1997 weed eater not getting returned fast enough. I'm sure this guy with the PTO is going to be upset about how long it's taking too. I don't know, selling. Tomorrow will be a week, so I still got 3 more days. And I say 10 days, that's 10 business days. So, I mean, I still got some time. But he wanted it done yesterday. And I know why, because he thinks that I'm at fault. But I've got tons of proof now that it's his problem. He messed it up. Like I said, I spent a week investigating every nook and cranny of that PTO to make sure I didn't mess up, order the wrong one, or I got a bad one. If the PTO locks up the way it did, the only thing that would happen, I wonder why that's blinking. The green light is blinking, and I don't know why. That green light should not be blinking. I mean, that has to do with energy draw, but I'm not drawing anything from that. I have worried that this charge controller is going bad. It has worried me a lot. But that's the new one, so that's what troubles me. I better guess I check the yeah, it's doing fine. Yeah, it's actually producing more power than the other one, which is kind of odd because it usually does the opposite. So the if the PTO would have locked up on its own without hitting something, it would not have broken the anti-rotation bracket. I mean, it snapped it. Well, it snapped it. It cracked it in half is what it did. There's a big crack in it. I probably could weld it, but I feel like I should just go ahead and buy it just for the extra security. So it but if it would have froze on its own, it would not have broke that bracket. What it would have done is never shut off. You would not have been able to shut off the blade. So let's say you shut off the motor, you start the motor, blades would start with it. That's how a bad PTO would have exposed itself. The other option is the internal bearings would have seized. That can break the PTO, the bracket, but that the bearings weren't seized. They spin real easy, actually. It was the clutch plate that froze. So what happened is when he hit something, it instantly spun the clutch. And within a fraction of a second, it got up to temperatures where it would weld the clutch together, the two pieces that come together. So now you have all that raw power from the engine being transferred right to the bracket that holds it in place, and it snapped it. So there's that. Then I have the evidence of the blade itself that it has hit something pretty hard. Two blades, actually. The right one and the middle one, which makes sense because as one was coming around, the other one came around, smacked it from two different directions. There's just no evidence that I did anything wrong, and boy did I look. I looked hard. I really wanted to, no, I didn't want it to be my fault, but I do have this instinct to trust people. I don't trust people. I see them lie almost the instant they open their mouth. But my instinct is just try to trust people. And I'm devastated every time I meet someone and they're not trustworthy. Well, same thing happened here. I feel snake bitten, which means he feels like he's getting bad luck. Well, he's got an old machine that has multiple problems, and one problem exposes itself right after the next one, and it doesn't help that he's hitting brick walls or whatever with his mower. The blades themselves look like a serrated edge. He's hit so much. I mean, he's obviously mowing a driveway. There's just no way he's not. So I had AI help me write a text message because I want to be polite about it, but I want him to know that he's got to stop doing this. It would be better to get one of these old cheap lawnmowers with the automatic or the manual PTO where you have to engage it by hand instead of an electric one, because when you hit something with the electric one, you waste 150 bucks. You waste you hit something with that, it breaks the spindle. The spindle is designed to break, and it costs 40 bucks. He'd be a lot cheaper. And you know, I'm not going to charge him labor on that, on anything. So the only thing he's buying is that bracket. We got the PTO return for, you know, at cost. You know, they're going to exchange it. So that's all he's paying. And I'm going to tell him I can't keep doing this. I can't do it for free. So stop hitting things. So Well, I think I'm going to jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box to take the video over to my other channel, I really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, I don't know, figure out how to make an off-grid air compressor so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.